Good afternoon. Welcome to GrainTV. My name is Cody Bills, Logan Burgess. Today is Thursday, March 7th, and we have a WSDA report coming out tomorrow. We also had some interesting price action today considering the fundamental news in export sales that was released early on this morning. Let's turn right over to Fire Tip, see where we're trading at here at the end of the day. Corn trading up 3 cents, soybeans up 7 3/4, wheat in Chicago trading up 12 3/4, and Kansas City wheat closing off the day up 10 1/4. Logan, maybe you could break down why we ended up trading higher here after some export sales that really weren't all that positive for corn.
Yeah, really, absolutely abysmal sales for corn here this morning reported. So really, fundamentally, not a lot of incentive to push this market 3 cents higher. Some questions there as to why the price action was moving higher today. I think if we look at corn and soybeans, it seems like fundamentally soybeans has remained stronger here than corn over the last several weeks, and wheat could be seeing some short covering here coming into tomorrow's report. Certainly, wheat sold off quite a lot here in the last couple weeks. Wouldn't be surprised if people are closing out some of those short positions. Another thing to take note here is that yesterday we actually saw May-delivered wheat trading at a discount to May-delivered corn, so certainly that was something that caught some people's attention. Maybe some correction there or some spreading going on there as well. But kind of take us through the export sales we saw this morning. As you said, and as you kind of hinted at, really not a lot to hold on there for corn.
Yeah, in terms of old crop sales, we actually had a reduction by about 49,000 metric tons for old crop corn. That was absolutely abysmal, and corn came out ending up missing expectations when you look at old and new crop sales. Right. Soybeans beat analyst expectations, or at least came in the high side of them. They actually booked 392,000 metric tons of old crop sales. That's really positive when you consider this time of year and the fact that Brazil is exporting now, and they're right in the peak of harvest here. That's the sales that we booked here reported by FAST this morning, very positive. And wheat also came out well on the high side of analyst expectations with 618,000 metric tons in the old crop. In terms of where we are meeting USDA expectations or current expectations, take a look at the chart here. We got soybeans. You can see we're 118 million bushels ahead of pace, and of course the red line is the pace that's needed to meet USDA expectations. The blue lines are observed export sales of old crop beans, and you can see the last 2 weeks we've been able to meet and exceed that pace that's needed. When you look at corn here, you'll see that last few weeks we had pretty decent sales. We are almost up to where we need to be on pace here. This week, not the case. Right. We actually had reductions, and it was a huge blow. We're down 56 million bushels behind pace of where we need to be at this time to meet USDA expectations. And I think there's a possibility that we continue to see reductions here in the WSDA report to come. Logan, maybe you could kind of walk us through the expectations for tomorrow's report and really where you think they're going to come from, where these revisions
Yeah, absolutely. If we take a look at this table here, basically showing February WSDA report numbers and what the analysts expectations are for the numbers tomorrow. As we can see, expectations are for corn ending stocks to be increased 11 million bushels up to 643 million bushels. Story kind of continues here for soybeans. Once again, the trade's expecting ending stocks of soybeans to be reduced in tomorrow's numbers down to 120 million bushels. That's a 5 million bushel decrease. And wheat expecting slightly larger ending stocks there, up 13 million bushels from what the USDA projected in the February numbers.
So corn, the possibility is that we have higher ending stocks. Where do you suppose that those higher ending stocks are going to be found?
I think certainly export sales is one area that people are going to be taking a look at. From the data that we have so far throughout the marketing year that you just highlighted there, certainly a sizable deficit is kind of built into this export pace right now. We're really going to need to see U.S. export sales pick up for corn to meet even the revised expectations that the USDA came out with in February. So certainly that's one area that people are going to be taking a look at. Another area of concern for corn is ethanol production right now. We've been talking about it for a while here on GrainTV. Right now, ethanol production really on a weekly basis is not where it needs to be to meet USDA expectations, and we're going to need to see a pretty sizable increase in the ethanol crush margin to really give plants an incentive to crush more corn into ethanol. We don't think that's going to be the case here going through the remainder of the marketing year. Bottom line, our models right now are showing ethanol or corn used for ethanol coming in about 100 million bushels below where the USDA currently has it pegged.
Yeah. Well, we may not see any sort of reduction to that amount just yet, but and we've been looking for an ethanol reduction here from their forecast for a while, and we haven't seemed to get it. So that's definitely on the table here as a cut in ethanol production or corn used for ethanol. Beans, you have down there -5. Where do you think we're going to find? Where do you think the reduction there in ending stocks is going to come from?
Yeah, I think over the last couple WASDE reports here, we've seen the USDA bump up their expected crush figure for soybeans. Really don't have a lot of new fundamental news to push that any higher here. Wouldn't be surprised if that was left unchanged. But once again, it comes back to export sales. As you said, U.S. exports of soybeans here have been running pretty strong here throughout the marketing year. And as you alluded to earlier in the week, we did have a strong old crop sale of soybeans to unknown destinations just this week. And as you said, this is the time of year where we'd expect a lot of sales to be lost to South America. Certainly, that's a slight indication that the pace of U.S. export sales of soybeans may be able to hang in there a little bit if the Brazilians and Argentinians aren't able to effectively export their beans from their country.
Yeah, and it really seems that some of the delays out of Brazil are pushing sales onto our books,
right,
and thus actually the very positive export sales we've seen in soybeans in the last couple weeks. But that pretty much wraps up this this pre-WASDE report show. If you have any questions about what we're talking about here, give us a call at 877-472-4607. Again, if you're interested in watching the market trade live after that report is released, take a demo of the Fire Tip trading platform. You can find it at grainhedge.com. Other than that, thanks a lot. Good luck out there. We'll see you tomorrow.